Okay, now let us see how raw SQLs work, right? How raw SQLs are going to be work. So what I'm going to do is that, see, first select. We are going to have something select SQLite DB, say SQDB is equals to SQLite DB, SQDB is equals to what you can say helper dot get a readable database, fine, and then say SQDB dot execute or say SQL or say raw SQL, raw query. Whenever you are going to deal with, remember that whenever you are going to deal with raw SQL like this, see, select star from, right, select for star from my table, right, and second parameter is the selection arguments, that your placeholders, if you have some where clause over here, right, where my age equals to question mark, then you can pass that thing in the array, or otherwise you can pass it as null. Okay, return type of this raw query would be the cursor. Can you see cursor? Cursor is equals to this. Cursor is equals to this. Okay, then while cursor dot move to next, then this is usual, you know this thing, right? How to do this thing you all know. Cursor is equals to this. How you are going to operate on the cursor, that we have already seen. Okay, let me get my name over here. My name is equals to cursor dot, you can say get string. Cursor dot get string, and recommended way is this cursor dot get column index, right, name of the column my name. Why? Because if your table is having 50 columns, it is very hard to map the index with the column. That's why this is a good way. Okay, then int, you can say my age is equals to cursor dot my age, right? Instead of string, you can say get int and this thing. Let me log it. Log dot I at codecool would be some filter, then name is equals to plus my name, say plus age is equals to plus my age likewise, right. And as usual, see, I was forgetting to close the cursor, and that's why whenever you open the database, at the same time immediately write the closing code like this. So either you can use the Android's way over here, select in this manner, or you can use some raw query, select raw SQL, right. Now let me print it, or let me, instead of this display, what I can do is that select raw query. On the display click select raw query function I have called. Now let me run the code and see what happens. Remember that likewise the select, you have written the likewise the select, right. Raw query method is deliberately used for selecting, getting the cursor back, right. And you can say display, might be some data has been displayed. See, this is coming from the raw query, this much data is coming from the raw query, right. Okay, now I want to insert. How we are going to insert into the database? So what I'm going to do is that private void insert raw. Again, I need to open the database in the write mode. SQDB is equals to, right, helper dot get writable databases, and immediately close it. Sometimes immediately closing, if you have sequence of the operations, means first write, then read, then again write, then again read, again update, in that case your database connection should be open only once and closed only once. Otherwise you would be getting some cursor null pointer exception or cursor already closed exception, right. Okay, so make sure that, so as per the your business need, you are going to open and close this thing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that sqdb dot execute sql. Can you see that thing? Execute sql, insert, tell me the query, insert into my table, right? Values, my name, say uh, raw android, and second thing, your age would be the 20, like this. Insert into my table values. Is it correct? Insert, yeah, it's the correct. Insert into my table values and these two things, execute sql and this thing, right? Okay, now if you check the return type here is void. So if you compare this with the JDBC, insert is having some int kind of return type, right? You can get to know what is happening with your last insert. Okay, insert raw, I'll call it, right? Insert raw. Let me run the code and see what's happening. This is your query, this raw query, insert into my table values, means any complex query you can write over here. If you think that no, I don't want to use that semi ORM which is provided by whom, Android, I'm going to use directly query, fine, you can use it. See, I have tapped the insert, and if you go to the log and if you just say the display, you can get raw android and age 20. That is coming from what? This insert, right? So these many things you can do with the Sqlite, right? These many things you can do with the Sqlite, remember that, right? So we have seen CRUD operations, how we are going to perform with the raw SQLs, that also we have seen. So here our Sqlite gets finished, right? We can jump to the next topic now. Okay, so if you like our videos, kindly subscribe us, right? Kindly subscribe us.